Alright, so in this exercise, I want to put everything that we've talked about into practice. And I'm going to provide this image to you guys for download. It's going to already be flatted, so all you've got to do is start lighting it if you want. And feel free, of course, if you want to go in and change any of these colors, you can. But I'm just going to leave it like this for now. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to light this at a couple of different angles in a few places. Probably not the entire image, but we're going to go through some of the key areas. And I want you guys to use this exercise to practice, lighting from the top, lighting from the left side, lighting from the right side. And kind of get yourself into thinking about light in that way. And because I think what a lot of especially beginner colorists do is they're like, all right, so it's time to go, and they just start throwing lights all over the place, and everything is lit equally, and it just doesn't work very well. So I want to kind of talk you guys through what I would be thinking about as I'm working on this stuff, and hopefully this will be a big help for you guys. So, and in this example, I'm going to be using kind of a lasso and brush method, which is pretty common in comic book style art. But if you want to paint this, want to be more brushy with it, there isn't a right or wrong answer here. So we'll start with his head, and also I want to thank Max Dunbar for providing this image for us. Max, if you guys are around for my very first course, the very first one, a long time ago, he provided some art for that one too. So now, of course, one other thing to keep in mind here is that this piece has a light source kind of already established. We can look at the shadows on the ground. We can look at the shadows under his arm, underneath his beard. He's lit from the top, but for the sake of our exercise, we can play around with that a little bit. But if you were actually going to be, lighting this guy, you would want to light him from the top. We'll use a couple of different examples though. So first I want to show you guys like kind of what I'm thinking about here. So I'm going to make some notes on top. Let's say I want to start with his face, because again, faces are the most complicated of all here. So we've got the forehead comes down, and I'm going to create kind of a grid line on this here so you guys can see. And we've got a little wrinkle there with a little bit of a hump. We've got another kind of hump there for his eyebrow. So this kind of follows kind of like this, okay? And this is a great example of why a lot of art videos that you see use cubes and spheres and those things, because that's really what we're looking at here. If we break this down, if I use a different color, this is pretty much one flat plane. Okay, some of it's covered by his hair. And then we've got these little partial cylinders that we're only seeing parts of them, but because part of it goes into his head here. But all these little round areas are like little mini cylinders. I'm making a mess here. Okay. So when I come down here and I want to start rendering this, I'm thinking about those shapes. So I'm going to kind of track this down, and it's going to be on the top of this one, and it's going to be on top of this cylinder. If you can't do this the first time, but it takes a little bit of time to figure this out, I promise. Alright, so we've got our light coming in like this, and this kind of goes like this, and we'll get rid of the hair part here. Alright, so what I've got lit here is the plane of his forehead and just the tops of these little ridges here. My areas, it's not exactly right. You guys kind of get the idea. And we can be as detailed with this as we want. I could even go in and erase all these little areas in here. It's probably getting a little too detailed, but that's fine. So now if I go and switch to I'm just going to use a screen brush with kind of an orangey color. And there you go. Now, because we've got these round surfaces, because we've got these little squiggly cylinders through here, then I could make another pass right alongside the edge of that cylinder. See what I mean? So it starts to look like his forehead has some form there. And going further down, Again, you've got to think in 3 dimensions every time. Kind of the top of his nose forms a shape. Now this area kind of is underneath, so I'm not gonna select that part because it's pointing down. This plane right here is pointing down, so I'm not gonna select it. And then we've got this little area facing up. So I'm really thinking about all the planes that are facing up. You know, maybe the underside of his eye here. Again, this is a plane that's facing up. Again, just switch to my brush, fill it in there. Maybe a little bit more on his nose because it sticks out a little bit more than the forehead does, right? It's facing more up. That's a thing. So when you zoom out, it really makes sense. So all of this is based on, it's all basic shapes. So if I go back to my notes again, my notes layer, and switch brushes again, you know, this is a plane facing forward or facing up. This is a plane facing up. You know, so if we were to continue those little grid lines we were doing earlier, it kind of does this number, like if I were to draw a line right down the middle of his face. So this is what I'm thinking about. You don't have to draw these on your particular image, but it kind of gives you a way to visualize, you know, what's happening there. Now his cheeks are probably going to be lit up here. And in all the areas where you want the highlight to really stand out, you know, it's in all those areas where the specular highlights are going to be. You know, so if you think about the nose as being kind of round, you're going to get sort of a, you know, a really bright spot right there because of all of those reflections are, because it's round, they tend to form one of those little points like that. And depending on how much of an effect you want this, you know, you could even come in here and add a little bit of this up top. So it just depends on how you want to do that. But it adds a lot of really cool realism to it when you add those different levels of lighting like that. All right, so now we can move on, let's say, to this arm, for example. Now, it's like, oh man, I haven't done a hand yet. I don't really know how to think about this. Break it down into those basic shapes again. So what do we have here? We have, where's my, there we go. We've got spheres. All right, his knuckles are basically spheres. Okay, so those are, we got to think, remember that. And then we've got these, we've got cylinders again. They're everywhere, right? So fingers are made up of cylinders. And what else do we have? All right, we've got this surface, which is kind of flat. All right, so we can kind of think about this as kind of like the edge of a cube that's kind of buried, you know, in his hand there. So we've got a flat surface. So again, I'm gonna flip back to the color I was using, and I'm gonna select the tops of these spheres. And again, if you want to brush this instead, you could do that. And then for the rest of his fingers, again, we're just lighting the top side. And we could probably connect some of this if we wanted to. Again, switch back to my screen brush. That wasn't the right color I was using. Let me get the right color. I think that's it, yeah. And again, all these little round areas where the light's really gonna get caught, you know, we can select those areas and make those a little bit brighter. All right, so what about this part of his arm? You guessed it, we have another cylinder happening here. It's really big. It's a lot bigger than the ones we've looked at so far, but it goes like this. Now, that's the biggest, simplest way to look at that, but there are areas in between that are even other shapes, okay? What I might do for something like this is first off, go in and just select that color, And think of it, I'm just thinking of it as a big sphere at this point. So I'm just going to color like the top half with a soft brush. Okay. Now, let's think about this a little bit more. What is this shape happening here? And you can look at your own arm. If you're a muscular guy, maybe you can. I don't really have those muscles, but you can kind of feel these muscles in your arm. And if I wanted to make a grid out of this, it would sort of come down. And so this is like a big muscle right there on top. And then this kind of comes in, and the rest of these kind of go down this way. All right. So this is what you need to train yourself to look for. There's all of these little shapes. And you can even, you can draw the grid lines this way if you want to. But learn to look at everything you're coloring this way. So in this case, we've kind of got a little indentation in here where that light is formed, where that muscle is formed. So I could go back to my light here and just select the top part of that muscle, right? And switch back to my brush, add another layer there. Maybe this muscle sticks out just a little bit, not quite as much though. And then at the very top, we got a little sharper highlight there at the top. And I'm doing this on skin, but this applies to all of these different areas. You just kind of have to think of it as what basic shape is it forming first. And even on things like hair, you're thinking, well, this is a big, bunch of hair and different shapes, and there's no way that you can break this into shapes, but you can.